neck of the woods here with another video. And this is also a requested video by one of my ex-girlfriends. I'm going to refer to her as Tasha. And I am still friends with her. Now, she knows I make YouTube videos as well. And she also had requested to me a long time ago that I talk about the effects of women who were molested while they were a child, while they were children. Such as the case, she was molested herself when she was growing up. And she just wants to hear me talk about it and speak on it on YouTube. So I'm going to do that. So, I've always known that child molesters, that is like one of the biggest disgusting, evil things you could do. And I believe that they should be punished to the full extent of the law if and when they're caught and convicted. Of course, there needs to be, evidence. Make sure that they really, the evidence is there and everything. But yeah, I definitely, like most normal people, I'm totally against it. I'm totally against child molesters. Now, early on in my life, I've never been molested. Thank goodness for that. Even though I was narcissistically abused by my mom, and my dad was, a piece of shit, and I was abused by him too as well, even though he wasn't really in my life. But at least my parents never molested me. But they did everything else that was evil to me. So, and also, as me being a graduate, a bachelor's degree holder of psychology, so I would be into the effects of, certain situations and problems that people face, or what was the reason that led to the problems that people have, that sort of thing. Now, earlier in my life, when I started dating, I did not fully understand. Of course, I soon learned that real quick, but I didn't fully understand the effects and ramifications of a woman who's been through that sort of deal of being molested and raped too, but I'm talking about child molestation and the victims of that, which I believe is just far worse, far horrible. The first time I kind of started paying attention to it was I was living in Tennessee. My friend, who also watches my videos as well, he dated a woman, this young lady, and she told him, like a part of, getting to know her, that she had been molested when she was a young child by her uncle or something, I believe. Now, my friend, he thought that was bad. He thought that was horrible news, and that was fucked up. That's the normal thing to do. But, he dated her. And then he noticed that, man, he had major problems with this girl. Major problems. She was like a total wreck. But he didn't start to tie two and two together on that. It was just like, oh, okay, man, something's wrong with that girl. She has issues. Okay. Then he dated another girl. I forget this girl, but he dated another girl, and she also said she had been molested as a child herself. I forget the story with that. The first girl he dated, I remember that story because she was the sister of this girl that I was dating when I was in Tennessee. That's why I remember that so good. But the second girl, I don't remember the story too much. I just remember this one other girl he dated. She was molested as a child, and again, that relationship did not work out well either. And then he knew. I don't think he. I think he dated another girl. She also was molested as a child, and that relationship didn't work out. And keep in mind, this friend of mine, he's what you would call a beta male simp. He is. And of course, at one time or another in my life, earlier in my life, I used to be that way too. I'm not no more. He still is. I'm still working on him with that, but oh well. But him being a beta male simp, he, a beta male simp is willing to put up with a lot of bullshit. We, you know, They are. I know I used to, or I wasn't really willing to put up with a lot of bullshit. I just thought that was the normal thing because all these other beta male simps around me, friends and family, told me that that was the normal thing that men did, and I went along with it. And of course, I was wrong for that. But I didn't like putting up with the bullshit. Even back then. But this guy, my friend, he put up with a lot of bullshit. So it was a lot of bullshit for him to put up with, for him to even come to the conclusion. And he was the one who brought it to my attention that he said, and he said my real name. He said, you know, I've noticed there's something up with these girls, with these females who've been molested. He said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to start dating any females who were molested. Or I'm going to just start asking that question. Like, if I meet a new woman, I'm going to ask, that's like one of the first things I'm going to ask her. Like, hey, were you molested when you was a child? Now, me, back then, I barely dated because I just didn't have the game or confidence. And of course, I was in Tennessee, and the game up there is flipped upside down on its back ass retarded. Just stupid game, the stupid gorilla down south game that they have there. But I knew that, I wasn't willing to put in the work that it would have just been even more simping than even what I was doing at the time. I was like, hell no. But I didn't date too much there, and to my knowledge, the few women I was with, they were not molested. So I'm like, wow, okay. So then I moved back to California, and I met this girl that I'm going to refer to as Tasha. That this is the girl who requested this video for me to make. Now when I met her, we was at a party, whatever. We did our little thing. But while I was getting to know her, like that's one of the first things she told me. Should have been a red flag, but I was like, oh, damn, that's fucked up. But she told me her father molested her for many years. This girl, she's from Jamaica, by the way. She's from Jamaica, born and raised, and when she was about 13, 14 years old, her family, well, her mom wasn't in the picture. Her mom had already left Jamaica to New York City to, I guess, start her own life, whatever the reason, and then left her with her dad. And her dad started molesting her when she was about, like she said, 7 or 8 years old, and did it for many years while they was in Jamaica, and then came to America, and then he continued to do so. And she finally mustered up the courage to tell I don't know, the police, maybe a teacher at school, and then the teacher got the authorities involved, and her dad was arrested and deported back to Jamaica. End of story. So, and also, she wasn't just molested by her dad. She told me she was also molested by one of her uncles. One of her uncles, I think it was on her mom's side. Yeah, and then she was molested by one of her cousins, which was her dad's sister's son. So she went through a lot, and and it did not work out with me. This girl and I, we clashed all the fucking time. This girl had major issues, and to be quite honest with you, and she's gonna be listening to this video, but she knows I'm blunt, so I'm gonna say it anyway. She still has issues. I mean, she's the type that she will start a fight with a nigga on purpose, just out of nowhere. She would provoke a nigga to beat her ass. Seriously, she dated one guy. No, she told me she was abused in previous relations before, and then this one dude who, one of her daddies, he just beat her brutal, just every chance he get. Of course, I think she started it, but he had major issues himself. You know, I mean that's part of the whole attraction thing, I guess. You know, and so that didn't work out. And then she and then there's one dude she had. See, women who were molested. I mean, they're major. Now I am her friend. I'm helping her out. We get along better, much better than before. Before she just didn't respect me, as is such is the case with many black women. And then I think what happened, she just kept getting beat up and bruised by her baby daddy and all these other failed relationships she was in. And then she's looking at me and she see that I'm improving my life, even though I'm still far from where I want to be in life. But these days she's showing me respect, so I try to give her advice to help her out. And even with what's going on with her current baby daddy now that she's with, who's this one she's with, he's Jamaican like her. I don't think he beats her, but they have major problems too. So I'm her friend. I'm not trying to have sex with her now, even though I was trying to do that before. I'm not gonna lie. But since I've listened to a lot of these YouTube videos, I've pretty much stopped that shit. You know, I don't expect nothing from her. I don't have any expectation of what I think she should give me. That's like a big mistake when you deal with women, especially black women. If you're a black man, it's what I believe. But and it's also from an experimental, observational point of view. You know, so like I'm still learning from women. Um, like I've said before, women are not your friend. You know, they really aren't. Don't expect nothing out of the deal. So for me, the only thing I expect is I feel it's a part of me learning more about women, and I observe what's going on in their life. That's really the whole point of that. But yeah, this is the video. She said she wants to speak on the video. I'm gonna have to arrange something to make that happen. So there probably might be a part 2 to this video. If so, it's probably gonna be an interview between me and her where she's doing most of the talking. The video is more than likely gonna last longer than 15 minutes. So if you like what you heard and you enjoyed the video, just give me a like. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Subscribe if you like. And this is Neck of the Woods. That is all I gotta say on this matter.